Anderson, the Spider Silva!
Everyone has heard of Anderson Silva, or simply Spider, who is more than an MMA legend. He is a symbol of resilience and brilliance in the sport. Born in Sao Paulo and raised in Curitiba, he rose from a humble childhood to dominate the octagon with a unique and innovative style. But do you know the life story of this great fighter? What did it take to build such a strong and famous legacy in the fighting world? That's what we'll discover now. Anderson Silva's childhood. Anderson Silva was born on April 14, 1975, in Sao Paulo, and grew up in Curitiba, Paraná. Coming from a humble background, he spent his childhood under the care of an aunt and uncle, as his parents faced financial difficulties. The family lived in modest conditions, which forced Anderson to deal with economic limitations from an early age. Despite this, he was a curious and active child, finding joy in the streets of his neighborhood and eventually in the world of martial arts. His passion for fighting began at a young age when he watched capoeira practitioners in his surroundings and Bruce Lee movies, which sparked his admiration for the martial arts universe. At 12 years old, he began training in Taekwondo, where he quickly demonstrated talent and dedication, earning a black belt. Over time, he expanded to other disciplines, such as Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, which would later form the foundation of his MMA career. He trained at local gyms with limited resources, but always with immense determination. Anderson attended public schools and faced challenges in an underfunded educational system. Even so, he showed above-average maturity, along with discipline and focus. However, like many young people of his generation, he didn't initially see fighting as a viable career. He dreamed of a stable job that could help support his family and took on modest jobs during his youth, such as working as a fast food attendant and office assistant. These jobs, though simple, were essential to supplement his family's income while he continued training whenever possible. It was in regional competitions that Anderson began to stand out. He competed in local events, often poorly organized and with little to no payment, but his performances drew attention. Coaches and experts quickly recognized his exceptional talent, combining refined technique with a versatile style. Despite this, the start of his professional career was marked by financial challenges. Without sponsorships or major opportunities, he had to fight for low purses while balancing training with other responsibilities. The path to stardom was built step by step. Anderson used each victory to solidify his position in the sport, even without knowing where it might lead him. Gradually, he began to gain recognition on the national stage and later, internationally. His skill and strategy inside the ring, combined with his determination outside of it, transformed that young man from humble beginnings into one of the greatest names in MMA history. Anderson's first professional step was in Muay Thai, where he excelled in regional competitions. His transition to MMA occurred in the year 1997, when he debuted at an event called the Brazilian Freestyle Circuit, winning his first fight by technical knockout. In the year 2000, he participated in the Mecca event held in Curitiba, which was one of the top MMA tournaments in Brazil at the time. There, Anderson gained attention for his refined technique and won several fights, cementing his reputation as a promising fighter. After making a name for himself in national competitions, Anderson began competing internationally. In 2002, he had the opportunity to fight in Shudo, an MMA organization in Japan, where he defeated Hayato Sakurai, who was then considered one of the best fighters in the middleweight division. This victory earned Anderson the Shudo Championship belt and marked the beginning of his international prominence. Still in Japan, Anderson participated in events like Pride Fighting Championships, one of the most prestigious MMA organizations at the time. Despite facing high-level opponents, his tenure at Pride was mixed, with some impressive victories and losses that served as valuable lessons. Between 2004 and 2006, Anderson fought in various organizations, such as Cage Rage in the United Kingdom, where he became the middleweight champion. His technical skill and ability to dominate opponents caught the attention of major organizations, and in 2006, he signed with the UFC, the world's largest MMA organization. Anderson's UFC debut was overwhelming. In his first fight, in June 2006, he faced Chris Lieben and won by knockout in just 49 seconds, showcasing his precision and striking power. Just a few months later, Anderson faced Rich Franklin, the reigning middleweight champion, and defeated him decisively, claiming the division's title. From that moment, Anderson began a historic reign in the UFC, defending his title 10 consecutive times and breaking numerous records, including the longest winning streak in the organization's history. On December 28, 2013, during a rematch against Chris Weidman at UFC 168, Anderson Silva suffered one of the most shocking injuries in MMA history. In the second round of the fight, he attempted a low kick with his left leg, which was blocked by Weidman. The impact caused a severe fracture to Anderson's tibia and fibula, forcing an immediate stoppage of the fight. The image of Anderson collapsing in the octagon, visibly in agony, deeply affected fans of the sport and raised doubts about his future as a fighter. After the incident, Anderson was rushed to the hospital and underwent a successful surgery, during which a titanium rod was inserted to stabilize his leg. The recovery process was challenging, both physically and emotionally. He required months of intense physical therapy to regain strength and mobility, in addition to overcoming the psychological trauma of returning to fighting after such a severe injury. Despite the difficulties, Anderson displayed the resilience that had defined his career and promised fans that he would return to the octagon. In January 2015, just over a year after his injury, Anderson returned to the UFC to face Nick Diaz at UFC 183. The fight was highly anticipated, as it marked the comeback of one of MMA's greatest names. Anderson won by unanimous decision, proving that he was still capable of competing at a high level. Despite the victory, the result was later changed to a no contest due to issues with anti-doping tests, but the event showcased his determination to overcome adversity. Anderson's return after the fracture further cemented his status as a legend in the sport. He was already widely recognized for his dominance in the middleweight division, where he reigned as champion from 2006 to 2013. During that time, he broke UFC records, such as the longest winning streak and the most successful middleweight title defenses. Additionally, Anderson received numerous awards from the organization, including Fight of the Night, Knockout of the Night, and Performance of the Night, highlighting his ability to deliver unforgettable moments inside the octagon. Outside the octagon, Anderson received worldwide recognition for his contributions to the sport. He was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2023, solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time. His popularity transcended MMA, making him a global figure with appearances in movies, TV shows, and other projects outside the sport. Even after his injury and recovery, Anderson continued to face top names in MMA, and even explored other disciplines, such as boxing, where he fought stars like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Jake Paul in exhibition matches. His post-injury career demonstrated that, despite physical limitations and an advanced age for an elite athlete, he never lost his competitive spirit. Currently, Anderson Silva remains an influential figure in the sports and cultural world. After officially retiring from MMA, he has dedicated himself to new passions, such as boxing and acting, appearing in action and crime productions. His legacy as one of the greatest fighters in history remains strong, frequently celebrated through awards and honors, including his induction into the UFC Hall of Fame. Although he ended his MMA career in 2020, due to his age of 50, which no longer allowed for the intense movements required by the sport, Anderson remains involved in the fight world, serving as an inspiration for new generations. Additionally, his artistic and commercial projects have kept his name in the spotlight, solidifying his relevance across multiple fields. His impact on MMA and martial arts as a whole ensures that his legacy will be remembered for many years to come. Recently, in 2024, he participated in a farewell fight at an event called Spot and Fight Night in São Paulo, facing American opponent Chael Sonnen. The fight ended in a draw and was filled with emotion in the ring. With his ongoing contributions and notoriety, it is likely that he will continue to receive future awards and honors, both in sports and cultural contexts. But what about you? What do you think about Anderson Silva's story? Share your opinion in the comments. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on upcoming content. A big hug, and see you next time.